Hey guys, my name is Ramshot and welcome to my orc boy painting tutorial. I'll be showing you how to paint your boys not only to the tabletop standard, but also to add a couple of extra details to get to display standard. The first thing we'll be needing to do is to add bog, flesh or any green paint you want to the skin, so let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is apply 2 thin coats of your skin colour. It doesn't even have to be green. My brother Hangron paints his purple. I'm not trying to be too neat, using a medium brush and just applying 2 thin coats to get nice solid coverage. So next I'm applying colour to his trousers. I'm using a blue here as if they were jeans, but you can use any colour like a black, a brown or a grey. I'm being pretty neat when it comes near the hand, but I can always tidy up later. And everywhere else, I'm not trying to be too neat, I'm just being messy, applying 2 thin coats to get a nice solid coverage. Now I'm painting his boots. This can be whatever colour you want, black, grey and brown. Try and keep it inconsistent between your models, as orcs aren't very neat when it comes to their boots and clothes. Now I'm applying red because I'm painting my boys as classic Goffs. But you can paint this whatever clan colour you want. Do as much or as little red or whatever colour you want. Blues, blacks, whatever. With that done, I'm now painting his teeth with an off-white bone colour. Again, I'm being pretty neat, it's quite optional, but if you want to go for display, I highly recommend it. It really makes it jump out. I'm also painting the bone or skull on his chopper. Now back with the black paint, I'm going to paint some straps and the sides of his helmet black. Again, this is just an accent colour because my Goths are black and red. Take your time with this, be very neat, touch up whatever you need to, apply 2 thin coats so you get nice solid coverage because it'll look way cleaner and way more realistic when you do this. Of course, you'll be dirtying all the colours down with Agrax Earthshade later. I'm now applying a brown paint to all the straps and leather areas. Of course you can use black or grey, whichever one you want, but I've just already used black and I was thinking a bit brown. Just be neat with this one, use a small brush and take your time. Now I'm applying bronze to his belt buckle. You can see I've painted the tassel brown already. It's now just take your time with this, do 2 thin coats. Now I'm applying silver to all the metallic areas such as chopper, slugger and the little spike on his helmet. With that all done, he's looking very clean. As you can see, I also painted his eyes, but I don't want to do that on camera as it's a bit challenging. But he's looking a bit bright now. He doesn't really look gritty and realistic. So I think it's time we should darken him down because, well, an orc isn't supposed to look clean. I'm now applying Agrax Earthshade or whatever brown wash you want to use to the entire model except for the eyes. Just apply it smoothly across the entire model and don't let it pool anywhere. Now onto his lips, I'm applying Carberg Crimson or whatever winey red colour you want to do, just to make them blend into the green skin more, but add a bit more difference. Now with that is a perfect tabletop ready boy, in my mind anyway. You could definitely get a lot of these done very fast and they'd look great on the tabletop. But if you want to add a bit more detail, I'm going to start highlighting back up with my original colour for the skin. I'm leaving the darker colour in the recesses and I'm taking my time. I'm using a highlight brush and you can keep going with this as much as you want. Next I'm using a slightly lighter green again just to apply more. Now even less than the last paint, which is even less than the first, I'm applying a very, very spotted highlight of a very light olive green. And now I'm going to dry brush the original metallic colour onto all the metallic areas. Now using a more light silver paint, I'm now edge highlighting all the metallics. Taking your time, again this is completely optional. Do as much or as little as you want, depending on how dirty or clean the weapons are. Now I'm beginning to re-establish my mid-tone with the blue onto his trousers. Now highlighting with slightly lighter blue, more baby blue in this case, I'm just picking out raised details. I still want to keep it quite dark. I also might paint a couple of stripes. Now it's extremely light blue, I'm just doing the very, very, very raised creases on the trousers. I don't want this to be too much at all. Now I begin to highlight back up the red. Just taking my time with another lighter colour, just keep establishing lighter and lighter colours until you're happy with the colour. Now my lightest red's now more of a dark orange. Now I'm beginning to re-establish a mid-tone on the teeth, just taking my time with the off-white bone colour. Onto the palette, we're mixing a bit of white with a bit of bone, just to create a very, very, very subtle highlight, mixing in around 50-50 mixture. Taking time, this is a wet palette, I'm using a sponge underlay and a bit of parchment paper on top, just adding a little more flesh, just I don't want it to be too bright, because they don't keep their teeth too clean. Now I'm going to apply just the very, very, very raised areas on the teeth. Let's go back to the palette. I'm applying a bit of white to create a highlight, and I'm going to mix this in with a bit of Carber Crimson or whatever, again, winey red shade you want to use to create a pinky highlight for the lips. Just taking your time with this, make sure you get a nice consistency that you like. Just going to mix in now. Make sure it's around 50-50. You don't want too much white. I think this is a bit too much white, so I'm going to add a bit more Carber Crimson just because it doesn't look great. Now I'm going to apply this mixture onto his lips. I don't want to be too bright. And that looks a bit pinky. I think it's a bit blinding, so we're back to our old friend agar surgery to darken it down. I'm applying the shade to the lips, but it'll still retain the nice bright pink colour. And now that's looking much better. I'm beginning to highlight up the brown leather areas. Now an even lighter brown mix. And now I'm highlighting up the bronze belt buckle with a more light bronze, less dirty. And that being my first edge highlight onto the black leather, it's a dark bluish grey. We're nearly done here, very close. Now to light grey, I'm just doing absolute thin points on the black areas. Now adding a bit of a blood effect to his chopper. It's completely optional. Do as much as or as little fresh spilt blood as you want. I'm using Citadel Blood for the Blood God texture paint here. This is only one time I'm going to tell you a specific paint because it's a nice texture and effect. And we'll have one of those coming up right now for the base. So I'm now using Citadel Martian Iron Earth to apply it to the base with a very old destroyed shade brush. Now I'm applying a dry brush of the same paint to his legs to create a bit of weathering and battle damage. Now this is called Hobby Tack, and I use this to stick down static grass sort of thing and also bits of coal to my bases. It's very good, definitely pick it up. So yeah, just applying to the really old destroyed brush, I'm just applying dots of it to areas I want. So just between his legs where I want to put a bit of coal, or maybe on the rim where I want to apply some static grass, not on the actual rim, just like above. You kind of want to keep it away from the rim as it will kind of warp the effect when you go to apply the black paint, whatever paint you paint your rims with later on. I've now stuck down a few pieces of coal and the area around it will dry clear soon. After dipping it into a bag of static grass and now wiping off the edge, it's more of a static grit. Finally, I'm just applying 1 or 2 grass tufts, and then all that's left is to paint the rim of the base black or whatever colour you like to use. Just applying 2 thin coats to it, making sure it's nice and clean, and with that, our orc boy will be done. Living only to fight in the 41st millennium, the orcs are the most savage race in the galaxy. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this painting tutorial and you can get up your own orcs painted very fast. You don't have to go all the way to the end. You can stop whenever you want and get the point that you're happy with between display and tabletop, or even just leave it at tabletop if you have so many boys like I probably will end up with. Well, I hope you enjoyed this and I'll see you in the next one.